blood pressure, the heartbeat, the nerves, coordination, the courage of this 51-year-old are just fine. His name is Bill Muncey, and he's about to drive an unlimited hydroplane on a tough afternoon of racing.
I remember how to do that now.
I'm convinced older's better. I really am. And the reason is I'm driving faster than I've ever driven, and I'm not an exceptional guy. I've had an interesting background, and I've had certain skills that I've been able to lend to a racing atmosphere. But, you know, why do people all of a sudden, when they reach 50, think, oh, I got 15 years to die, so they proceed to get ready for it? When if they would stay with what they're doing and keep at it, they get better and better and better. And I think that's exactly what I'm proving decisively, if nothing else, by racing, is that, hey, the older you are, the better you are, because you've got conditioned reflexes, you've got background, you've got experience. What good are reflexes if you're in your 20s if you don't really know what to do? You know?
Today, Bill Muncey drives this boat, trying for his 54th career win as we present the Grand Prix of Unlimited Hydroplane Racing, the Gold Cup on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. The human drama of athletic competition. This is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer, who invites you to see and test drive their exciting new 79 lineup, featuring an all-new breed of Mustang and LTD, a new American road car. By Budweiser, for all you do, this Bud for you. And by Firestone, makers of the 721 steel-belted radial. In 76 years, Firestone has never built a tire in which they've had more confidence.
Madison, Indiana, population 13,000, a well-organized, peaceful, happy little community in the middle of the country along the banks of the Ohio River. Going about its own way, doing its own thing most of the time, but once a year, oh, it happens. The Unlimited Hydroplanes come to town, and in 1979, it's the Gold Cup race. And let's take a ride with Jack Schaefer Jr. in the Miss Tri-Cities. The Unlimited Hydroplane, minimum 28 feet in length, capable of straightaway speeds better than 170 miles an hour. More flying across the water than riding on it. It takes craftsmanship, engineering, aerodynamics, courage, skill, luck, all these things to make these machines thrive in competition. They call them the Thunderbolts, and that's what they are. The power comes from these big engines, World War II vintage fighter plane engines. The Rolls here, used in the Spitfires, 3,000 horsepower, 45% of the total boat weight, which runs between 6,000 and 7,000 pounds, ready for racing. Some Allison aircraft engines also still being used. Unlimited imagination in merchandising, if you will, like this fellow, the Pink Panther that is the mascot of the new Circus boat. Inside the cockpit, it's snug and it's economical. Only the essential dials and the safety precautions are at hand for the driver. And here a lesson in aerodynamics. You can see how much this boat flies rather than rides in the water. But in the turns, the skid pin reaches down in there to snug the boats to the buoys. The sound when an engine fires is all power. And this power transmitted to a prop that turns 12,000 RPM and drives this boat at better than 170 miles an hour down the straight. Only half of it in the water. Today, a three-bladed prop being used on the new Miss Budweiser, coming right off the drawing board and into the race. A whole new concept, including having the fuselage off-center by nearly a foot. The conventional three-point unlimited hydroplane, seen here with its straight-up stabilizer, is the craft that dramatized the sport. So back in the 50s, it is still running, and it is still competitive. So we have more than 2 decades of aerodynamics on display. Fanciful new ideas like this and the horizontal stabilizer of the Squire. The engine, so powerful, so complicated, can be changed in less than half an hour. And they are many times, particularly for the skilled crews. And it's all skill that runs this one, the Atlas Van Lines boat, the defending champion from 1978, to be driven by the man, the only man to win 7 Gold Cups. Hello, again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson. It was 25 years ago that I covered my first unlimited hydroplane race, and in those days, the Gold Cup was the race. It still very much is the race. There are names on this old trophy that go back so many years to Garwood and Guy Lombardo. So many of the men who raced with such courage and heart in this competition are no longer with us, but they will be remembered forever because of what they could do with an unlimited hydroplane and what they did do with their lives. Today, as we go to this 1979 Gold Cup race, there is a name that goes back 25 years in it, Bill Muncey. People who started chasing him in the middle 50s, and they are still chasing this rascal as he performs so nobly and once again tries to win a Gold Cup for a third successive time. Only one other man's ever done it. That was Ron Musson in the middle 60s. The question now is whether or not there is anyone here who can really run down Bill Muncey. Will it be Steve Reynolds, the youngster who is driving the Circus boat and driving it so very well, apparently an emerging star in unlimited hydroplane racing? Or could it be Dean Chenoweth, who is coming off 4 years of retirement? Now let us introduce you to a gentleman who will be working with me today, sort of an old-timer, I think that's fair to say, Jim Henrik, who's been covering unlimited hydroplane racing for more than a quarter century and is the anchor voice for the Unlimited Hydroplane Network right now, and you've watched the competition through 1979. Can this younger one, Reynolds, run with these two proven veterans?
He not only can, Keith, but he has. He's beaten Muncey once this year in the heat in Evansville. The last race at Detroit, he was leading by 5 boat lengths before his prop let go. And I think that he does not have the experience, but he does have the horses and he has the guts. Now, if he doesn't get too much of a driving lesson from Bill Muncey, he just might pull it.
What about equipment?
He has all fine equipment, top-notch organization, no doubt about it. Now, I think any young man in his position would be happy to have the chance he has, and I think he's going to try to make the most of it.
Yesterday, veteran referee of 17 years, Bill Newton, presided at the drivers' meeting. Final pre-race instructions. Make sure everybody understands what is expected of them. Now about the race format, Jim.
Well, Keith, the Gold Cup format calls for 3 15-mile elimination runs. Now, the 8 boats that qualified are split into 2 4-boat groups. And the luck of the draw after each heat dictates the quality of competition that each of these drivers is going to face. After 45 miles of racing takes place, 3 boats are eliminated, and the 5 drivers that have accrued the most points in the elimination heats go head-to-head in the run for the Cup.
On a 2.5-mile course here on the Ohio River, and we'll highlight those elimination heats for you in just a moment.